Hello, God bless. Thank you for watching. Um, so I'm tying Exodus and Revelation together in a mirror type fashion. So we had the cry out. The next thing that comes is the darkness. Okay? And what's interesting, we'll start in Exodus 10, verse 21. And the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out thine hand toward heaven, so that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt." Okay? And Moses stretched forth his hand toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt for 3 days. Okay, first off, let's start off. This darkness is also felt. Okay, so there's some sort of consistency in the air. There's some sort of, I think this is a spiritual feeling and a physical feeling. He stretched forth his hand toward heaven. There was a thick, it says even thick, darkness in the land of Egypt and all the world for 3 days. They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. Wow. Okay, so if we were to read this in terms of bride world, it would say, "A thick darkness in all of the world for 3 days. They saw not one another, neither rose from his place for 3 days. But the bride had light in their dwellings." So I think this is, we've talked about the 3 days of darkness. There's so many 3 day references, if you've seen in my past video. This goes back to Isaiah, and I'll throw it up there real quick. Okay, Isaiah 26:20. "Come in, my people, enter into thy chambers, shut the doors about thee, hide thyself as it were for a moment, until the indignation is overpast." Just like the Israelites. They saw not one another, neither rose from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. Very interesting. Now, if we go to Revelation, let's put this together. Okay, so here we had the sixth seal, where we talked about the great earth shaking. All right, we saw that the sun became as black sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. Okay, and the stars fell from heaven. So if we fast forward just a little bit, we have the angels sealing the 144,000, the great multitude, and we get into the seals. We get into the trumpets. All right. What's interesting is these trumpets, and I'm not sure of the Lord's plan. I think these are going to come in rapid succession. You have the silence in heaven for half an hour, just as Joshua commanded silence before he blew the trumpet, and there was the great shout. Now, we have this hail mingled with blood with the first angel, which obviously is going to be some sort of asteroid hail. I think fire with that, obviously, lava, some sort of heat, burning up the trees, burning up the grass. Now, when this trumpet sounds, I'm trying to put thoughts here and think out loud, but when this trumpet sounds, I don't think this is going to be an automatic, like overnight, 1/3 of everything was burned up. I think this is going to be a time of, I don't know how long, but I do believe there's going to be a time of this happening. This isn't just going to happen like overnight, all is burning up. I don't think. I could be wrong. Then you have, we'll skip down. We're going to go to part 5, angel 5. Okay, angel 5. The fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven. Okay, we're going to get into the star at a little bit later time. Not on this one, probably the next one right here. I have a theory of who this star possibly is, and I'm pretty sure it's Satan, but we'll get into that next. But what I wanted to show you, he's got a key to the bottomless pit, and when he opened the bottomless pit, there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace. Now, what I believe is this smoke out of the pit and this great furnace is a volcano. Could be a series of volcanoes, but I do believe there is a specific one. This great furnace, I believe, is the way of saying volcano, and the smoke coming out of it. That's why I've had all these volcano eruptions lately. It's supposed to be keying us into these things that are going to be unfolding. And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. So you have this whole history of what's going on with the seals and the trumpets and everything being burnt up and everything going on. So obviously there's going to be darkness. There's obviously going to be smoke and everything else going on. But it says the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke. So this is going to be a thick, dark smoke. And just as we saw in Exodus during the plague, it was a darkness which they felt. Okay? It was a darkness which they felt. Now, I think that let's see here. The darkness that they felt. I believe that's key into what we're seeing here. That this darkness is going to be a spiritual darkness, and I believe it's going to be a physical darkness. All right, and we're going to examine one more chapter here. Okay, folks, this is Joel chapter 2. Very famous chapter. And here's what we see. Okay, this is verse 2. First off, we see, blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. For the day of the Lord cometh, it is nigh at hand. So I really think the day of the Lord is initiated with this fifth angel. I think, if I were to make a, I wouldn't say educated guess, but that's what I'm thinking. Okay, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. That's what we just saw. Okay, the thick darkness. Okay, if we go back, darkened by reason of the smoke. Okay, so we're here, thick darkness in the morning, as the morning is spread upon the mountains. Now, you're starting to see this unfold when we get into the locust coming out of this pit. We see a great people and a strong. There hath been never like it, never shall there be any more after it. Okay, but we'll get into that. I just want to paint this picture of the darkness and the gloominess, and especially the thick darkness that's coming. This is the day of the Lord. I believe the fifth trumpet. So just a little side note here. We have this statement in Joel 2:31. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord. If the great terrible day of the Lord is the fifth trumpet, then this makes perfect sense. And this being in that seal. I have to go back and look and see what seal it was. We can go back real quick. I think it was Revelation 6. We'll try that. Right here. So, and beheld, and when he had opened the sixth seal, lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of heaven fell into the earth. Now, just my opinion, this is going to be an eclipse that's not expected. That's my opinion. But I don't think this eclipse will be expected. This isn't one on the charts. This isn't part of the blood moons, I don't think. I could be wrong on that, but I personally just don't feel that. But anyway, I do feel that this is what Joel 2 is talking about, Joel 2:31, and then we come down and we're going to have the day of the Lord once this pit is opened and this army from Satan, which we'll talk about in the next video, the locust, come from. That will be the day of the Lord. And that's where I'm going to leave off for now with this video. The next video will be about the locust, and it's going to get into the Exodus locust, the Joel 2, and also the Revelation 5th trumpet. Thank you for watching, and God bless.